everyone. Welcome to Mic Drop Monday. I'm your host, Mr. Robinson. However, we have some great minds up in the house tonight, and they are talking about, this is my favorite subject, what if you could go back in time and actually speak to the younger version of yourself? What advice would you give them? Put it in the comments. Definitely put it in the comments. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get started with this episode of Mic Drop Monday. I ain't going to drop my mic because I'm not talking, they're talking. I'm going to let them drop the mic. All right, let's go.
Hey, how's it going? I thank you guys for allowing me to be here again with you this week. And today's prompt is, what's one inspirational, transformative piece of advice I would give to my younger self? The biggest thing I would tell young Cameron is just trust the process. Have faith in God, but make sure you trust the process as well. Make sure that you allow God to intercede on your behalf and ensure favorable outcome. And the only way he can do that is if you don't give up, if you don't give in, if you don't stop doing what you're supposed to do and making sure that you're making a way for a blessing. You're giving the opportunity for a blessing, that you're allowing him to come before you. You're allowing him to find a way to intercede on your behalf. He can't do that if you're not doing your part. So a lot of times people say pray, but also make sure that within your praying, you do the work. How can you expect to be blessed and to receive the rewards or the outcomes of your prayers if you aren't making sure that you endure, if you aren't making sure that you persevere, if you aren't making sure that you show up the way that you need to? A lot of times life does get ugly. A lot of times life can be very complicated. It can be difficult, just truly. It could be something that you don't expect. Things are going to arise. Hard times do happen to good people. However, we do not have to allow that to throw us off course, throw us off track, allow us to, get out of our character, get out of who we're supposed to be. It's almost the rule of life. And so if I could go back and I could, sit little Cameron down and say, hey, buddy, it's going to work out. But it cannot work out if you don't trust the process. It cannot work out if you don't give God a palatable space, firm soul that he can mold, that he can do something with. And I know for a lot of people it sounds like it's just, fleeting optimism. But that's why words like optimism exist. To give you something to kind of wrestle and play around with in your mind to know, okay, the word optimism exists. If I'm optimistic, then I can expect for this to work out. Sometimes life is like that. Endurance. Okay, word endurance exists, so I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, I know that this is more than I can bear. Let me endure. You feel me? Same with perseverance, right? If I can persevere, I can get through this. If I can stick through it to the end, there's going to be a result on the other side that actually is palatable, that I actually can accept, that I actually want, right? So again, the most important thing, the most important piece of advice I give little Cameron is, trust the process and have faith in God. Have faith that he's going to make a way. I make a way out of no way. Only God can create a miracle. We're only human beings and we all face things. We all go through things, right? I don't want it to seem as if, the movies, the TV, the music videos, the books, social media, and all these things are people that don't go through things every day. I was having a conversation with a young man and, without putting his business out there, he's been a little suicidal. And the biggest thing I try to tell him is that that's just the devil trying to get to you. That's just like those negative thoughts, those thoughts that you should hurt yourself. That's literally the devil trying to convince you that if you don't persevere, that if you don't endure, if you don't see this to the end, and you take your own chance away, if you remove your own opportunity, then that's supposed to be the outcome for you. But that's not the case. He is a beautiful, special, intelligent, spectacular individual. And all he needs to do to see the results of his dreams, the results of his hard work, is just to accept hard times happen, but they don't last. Difficult times come, but they're not there as a setback. They're not there to derail you completely. They're there for you to find the solutions and the opportunities to overcome. That God hasn't given up on him. God has not forsaken or abandoned him. But the devil can convince you that he has. The devil can convince you that if you take yourself out, the situation's not going to do it. Think about that. Right? I'm not sure how many people that listen to this have ever felt suicidal, have ever tried to hurt themselves, and have ever been down. But I beg you to trust me that that's just the devil. That has nothing to do with God. That has nothing to do with the circumstance and the situation. That's just the devil trying to prove to you how great you are. Because why would he be dealing with you if you weren't great? Why would he be trying to discourage you if you weren't great? Why would he be trying to knock you off your path unless your path brought healing to someone else? If you doing what you're supposed to do and you showing up the way you need to show up and you achieving, persevering, enduring, and you making it through to the other side, if that wasn't going to be inspiration and hope for someone else, if that wasn't going to be a sign to someone else that they can make it, why would he not go ahead and try to get you to hurt yourself? Why would he not go ahead and try to derail you? Why would he not try to throw you off course? He's just doing his job, but don't let him win. Don't allow him to do his job. What God can do, God is greater, right? God can create a miracle and he can do his job the only way that he can. But you remove God's opportunity to do his job, to show up for you, to do for you, to create a way out of nowhere, to create a miracle when you hurt yourself, when you don't trust the process. So the biggest thing I tell the young man I work with all the time, hey, it's going to be ugly. It's going to get hard. That everything you see on TV and movies and songs, those are lies, beautiful lies. Why else would we have things like nonfiction and fiction? Why else would we say that there's story? The dramatizations of life, that truthfully, not everyone lives like that. It's like when you look at, some of the hip hop moguls and the biggest names within it, they're going through things right now in the paper, on the news, that you would never want to be a part of. I'm surprised that some people don't look at that and say, you know what, all right, hands up. I'm not going to emulate that person. I can't give them the credit that I used to give. They're not who I thought they were, because they're not. They painted you a story. They painted you a lie. They made you to believe that because they had money, it was all taken care of. But that's not the case. Some of you every day do things that are harder, more rigorous, more difficult, more that takes a lot more out of you, that requires you to be something that they have never been, and do things that they have never done. That's not small just because you don't amass a lot of money behind it. I tell that same young man, just because you see people making money doesn't mean that they're happy. Just because you see people making money doesn't mean that they're more stable mentally than you. People go through things in life. People suffer through things in life. And so what I'd have to tell young Cameron, if I sat him down, I'd have to be like, baby boy, I need you to trust the process. I need you to have faith in God. I need you to believe in yourself when there's no reason in front of you to believe. I need you to put the work in. I need you to, spend the extra time, go the extra mile, do everything that you have to do to make sure that it happens, to make sure that you succeed, make sure that you achieve the things that you said you were going to do. To me, at the end of last year, I didn't create a New Year's resolution. My biggest thing is I wanted to answer two questions. What type of man and what type of leader did I want to be? That was most important to me going into 2025. And so I revisit that with young Cameron. I said, you know what? Before you get 31, before you get 32, I want you to spend the rest of this time as you're going through the process, decide what type of man do you want to be? What type of leader do you want to be? How are you going to show up? And when you get there, how are you going to do what you need to do to make sure people understand? That is the measure of a man. That is the measure of a leader. There are many things I've done in this life where I didn't show up as the man that I want to be. I couldn't be the leader that I wanted to be. And it's not for lack of opportunity. It's because I did not do what I needed to be. I did not do what I needed to do to be accountable in the moment, to safeguard and respect that I actually deserve to be in them in that moment, I let the weight of my anxieties, my fears, my worries get to me, instead of making sure that I used all of that as a reason to persevere, as a reason to endure, and as a greater reason to trust God. So I wouldn't just tell young Cameron anything fleeting. I don't want to provide just fleeting optimism. I'd want him to know that I'm saying to trust the process, because everything that he's working hard for in that moment, everything that I know he would be working hard towards, is going to pay off. There's some opportunities that came like immediately right after I gave up. Certain conversations and phone calls that I had been waiting for, that immediately, once I had left and almost let the dream die, hey, Cameron, would you mind helping us out with this? And I have to sit there and reprogram and really reconstruct my mind to get around to do that opportunity. And I failed. Just to be direct with you, I did not do as well as I would have if I kept my eye on the prize. I was able to recover and restart my life and get to a point of stability and of growth and achieve some of the things that I've been wanting to achieve. But I'll be honest with you, that's why I say you gotta trust the process. You gotta believe that all your work and all your effort is gonna pay off, because the moment I stopped, the moment I took my eye off that, and that wasn't my constant concern, and I wasn't staying focused, oh yeah, definitely, dreams came knocking. Everything that I had asked for came knocking. And I wasn't able to, in that moment, immediately become the man that I was trying to be, to do the things that I said I was going to do. Today, no, you would be hard-pressed to find me in a moment where I said I was going to do, I said that I was, and I'm not who I said I was. I'm not doing what I said I'm going to do. Because now I understand how important it is to show up, to face whatever it is, and to be exactly who you said you were going to be, to do exactly what you said you were going to do. And it's all glory and honor to God. I can't stress that enough. My faith in God is unshakable. You cannot knock me off my pivot. You can push, you can try to trip me up, you can do what you want to do, but I got so much faith in God that I'm not going to take my eyes off. Even if I stumble, even if I trip, even if it becomes difficult, I'm still going to look forward, do what I said I was going to do, be who I said I was going to be, and put in the work, put in the time, put in the energy, put in the effort. It's not going to be perfect. Again, life gets ugly. You're going to go through things that, truthfully, they're going to transfigure you. They're going to make you something that you're not. They're going to make you think things that you shouldn't be thinking. But if you trust the process and you have faith in God and you keep pushing forward, I promise you, none of your ups and downs, none of your fears, none of your worries, none of your anxiety, none of that is going to be able to penetrate and stop you from doing what you need to do. It's not going to change the facts on the ground. God is with you. I can't stress that enough. If God is with you, who could be against you? You just got to tell yourself these things. The Bible, to some people, is just a book, right? But for some people, it's basic instructions before leaving earth. For some people, you can literally go into the Bible, pull out a story, and it can tell you exactly why it's important to trust the process. In some ways, you can look at different figures in the Bible and see, like, okay, this is why they didn't get to that end result, or this is why they did get the result that they were looking for. A lot of times you just have to be, I don't want to say it's just assured faith, right? But if you could have an assured faith, right, you can achieve and acquire the things that you're working towards. But it can't happen if you don't trust the process and go through. The only way forward is through. So you might have an obstacle right here, an obstacle right here, an obstacle right here. But if you don't go through it, if you don't fight through it, if you don't push through it, no, God cannot create a miracle. God cannot go before you and intercede on your behalf and ensure favorable outcome. I pray that every night. I say, God, please give me the strength, the knowledge, the wisdom, the ability to persevere, and please go before me and intercede on my behalf, ensuring favorable outcome. I need to say that every night. If I don't say that, I don't feel comfortable. I say it in the morning sometimes. I make sure that I say it enough so that God knows I don't want to do this without you. I cannot do it without you, because I'm going to show up. I'm gonna get in the ring. I'm gonna throw some punches. But if this obstacle is bigger than me, if it's stronger than me, if it's faster than me, yeah, you might get a knockout. You might get a knockdown, right? But I'm gonna stand right back up. I'm gonna try to push right back through, and I'm gonna throw everything I got. I'm gonna do everything I have to do. But I cannot even stand there in that moment if I didn't push through to get there. If I didn't face the fact that this is going to be difficult. If I didn't show up to the arena. And if you do all that, how can you not trust the process? How can you not just take peace and just rest assured that God's going to find a way to work it out in your favor? That's all I'm saying. Trust the process and allow God to work it out in your favor. Have faith in Him, even if you can't have faith in yourself. So again, anybody that would like knowledge and guidance, different business advice, if you would like for me to help you grow your business, grow your nonprofit, your for-profit, even if you just need life coaching, please visit me at equipricity.com, EQUIPRICITY.com. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help you. I thank you for allowing me to come be here with you all today. Take care.
My name is Larry May. I work for Block by Block, Camden, New Jersey. If I can go back in time to tell my younger self, I would tell my younger self to be more disciplined and listen more.
Hello, everybody. I'm so blessed to be here at another Mic Drop Monday. So the question is for today is, if I could tell my younger self anything, what would that be? And that's a very important question. So looking at my younger self, I would look her dead in her eye and I would say, never, ever, 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 ever give your power away. All right, so let's talk. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything today because too many of us are out here giving away our power. And it's costing us everything, stuff we don't even know. We're bowing down to people we admire, people who inspire us, but instead of letting that admiration fuel our own greatness, we shrink ourselves. We act like their power somehow diminishes ours, and we forget who we are in the process. So have you ever found yourself dimming your own light because you didn't want to outshine someone somebody you looked up to, you didn't want to outshine them, or maybe you felt so in awe of someone's success that you actually subconsciously started following their path instead of trusting your own. And I've been there. And let me tell you, it's an extremely dangerous place to be, especially for a woman. So when we admire someone, it's natural for us to want to learn from them. But what ends up happening too often is that we start to bow down instead of leveling up. We confuse admiration with submission. We give them all the credit and none to ourselves. And here's the truth. When you give your power away, you lose your ability to hear your intuition. You stop trusting yourself, and you end up making decisions out of desperation, not out of discernment. And this makes you look thirsty, honestly. And I said what I said. When you're chasing someone else's vision or trying to mold yourself into someone else's version of success, you're giving off energy that screams, I don't believe I'm enough. And people can feel that. They can hone into that. So let me take you back to a time when I gave my power away. I was younger, full of ambition, and eager to succeed. And I met someone who was doing all the things that I inspired to do. I admired their work, their confidence, and their impact. But instead of letting that inspire me to go harder in my own lane, I started imitating their moves. I convinced myself that if I just followed in their footsteps, I'd get to where I want to go. But what happened actually? I lost my own voice. I started ignoring my intuition, and I ended up feeling disconnected from my own purpose. It's like I was grinding really hard, but for something that wasn't even meant for me. And when it all fell apart, I was left wondering how I got from the path God had for me. How did I end up deviating from that path? And this is a time-effective lesson, cost-effective lesson, because you can give your money away to people, You can, that comes with the territory of giving your power away, because once you don't have that power, that intuition, it's like you're a sitting duck for whoever you're giving your power away to. So I had to learn that admiration, it should be fuel, not a leash. You can admire someone without losing yourself in that process. And that also goes, same thing with loyalty. Loyalty, there's a thin line between loyalty and slavery. Because if you're not loyal to yourself first, then you leave yourself open to manipulation from other people. You don't have your intuition. You don't ask yourself, what should I do? Because that muscle hasn't been used, or it's left dormant because you aren't making your own decisions. You're allowing someone else's vibe, path, or power to diminish your own. So, especially in religious settings, when you allow your loyalty to make you a slave, it's like you diminish the whole experience, actually, for both of you. So here's how you can kind of recognize when you're starting to give your power away. You begin to ignore your own instincts because you're following somebody else's whole blueprint for their life, which may or may not have anything to do with you at all. You will feel anxious and insecure when making decisions because you don't trust your own judgment, and you're not used to trusting your own judgment or even asking yourself what you should do. You often shrink yourself in conversations, in relationships, or opportunities because you don't feel ready. And you don't feel ready because you don't know what that is for you. And when you do this, it's like you're not just losing your power, you're losing time. And especially with the single mothers I deal with, time is of the essence. Time, money, everything of value we need to hold near and dear to our heart. And the time is one of the things you can't get back. You can get your money back. You didn't invest it in something or whatever. You learned a lesson, you can get it back, but you can't get your time back. All right, now let's talk about, let's say you've given your power away. We all do it, it's a learning experience, but let's say that's happened. Let's talk about how to bring that power back to ourselves. So, step 1, recognize when admiration is turning into submission. Learn to ask yourself, am I inspired by this person, or am I trying to be them? Step 2, listen to your intuition. God did not give you intuition just to ignore it. Your gut knows the truth. Trust it. And if you're not used to trusting your intuition, this is something that you can start practicing. It's like a muscle. The more you use it and begin to trust yourself, it becomes second nature to you, and it becomes like a compass that can guide you throughout life and through people as well. Step 3, set those boundaries. Stop giving people unlimited access to your energy. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Your life force energy. And most importantly, remember this. You are the prize. And that's the gist of what I would tell my younger self. You are the prize. You don't need to chase validation or approval. You are the standard. So today, I want to challenge you all to take one small step to reclaiming your power. Sit with yourself and ask, where am I giving my power away right now? What decision do I need to make from a place of strength and not fear? How can I turn this admiration for this person into power for myself? This person has their own power. I don't need to give them mine, but I can take what I admire about them and use it to add to my own personal power. So if you're ready to go deeper and truly break free from a lot of the patterns that hold us back, especially as women, I invite you to come on and join my program. And what I do is teach women how to stand firm in their power, especially as single mothers. or mothers in general, because you're a leader of a household and you really can't afford to give your power away in that sense, because your children are watching you and you don't want them to end up giving their power away to someone and end up being manipulated because they never learned how to use their inner compass and their intuition in their own mind from you as their example. So teaching women to stand firm in their power and make decisions with confidence and build the life that God called them to lead for them and their families for generations to come. So when you're raising children, it's the most important thing, because they're going to outlive you. That's what that's the ideal situation, is that they will outlive you and your legacy will live on beyond what's going on right now. So I believe that's extremely important. So this isn't just about hearing a great message. It's about making a choice for yourself, a choice for your family, a choice to stop shrinking, to stop doubting, and to stop giving away what God has already placed inside of you specifically and catered to your own composition and makeup of your person, you specifically. Your power is your own, it's yours. And the moment you stop giving it away, you'll realize that you're the one you've been waiting for all along. You'll actually amaze yourself, because you're no longer trying to fit into the standard of somebody else's lifestyle or path. And you never know how much further you can be from even, surpassing that person that you admire so much. Because when you run into somebody that you give your power away to, it's like your journey stops there. You're not learning anything else. You're not allowing your intuition to integrate the things that you admire about this person into your own life. And a lot of the times when we do this as women, we don't even know the person all the way. We don't know who we're giving our power to, especially in situations and relationships. Somebody comes into our life and they have this thing or that thing going for themselves, and they can offer us this and that, and we automatically bow down because we feel empty, and we allow that to make us feel empty inside, or that we are lacking something. And lacking something doesn't mean lacking something, and wanting to gain something isn't the same thing. It's kind of confusing, but just because there's something that you want to gain for yourself does not mean that you're lacking something in its place. So you don't have to give away anything or feel like you're lacking anything in order to gain power, to gain insight, to gain value from speakers of power and an influence. You don't need to lack. You don't have to be underneath them. When you hear something that resonates with you or experience someone that really impresses you, that's because they're supposed to add to your cup. And it's supposed to be an exchange of value there. So, now let's get to work. Let's do this. Let's stop giving our power away, ladies and gentlemen. Stop bowing down to people who are supposed to inspire you. Let their light fuel yours, but never dim your crown. So young Jenny, I would tell her, never give your power away to anybody. Thank you so much for another wonderful Mic Drop Mondays. I hope you guys enjoyed this message. And if you want to hear more about my platform, Raising Kings, you can check us out on Instagram. We're Raising Kings _. We also have a podcast going on Spotify and YouTube. And you can check out my link tree, which is raisingkings.live. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next Monday.
Pete Toast, a little slice of New York. Advice I would have given myself if I could go back in time, do a little bit more research on where I opened up the business, do more demographic work, do more research pertaining to the area. And that's about it, really.
Good morning. This is the Lawyer Unique here. And this morning, what I will be doing is reading off a letter that I wrote to my younger self. And if I could give one life-changing piece of advice to my younger self, what would it be? What would it be? Before I say a word, I just have to thank God. Give the praise back to Him. And I want to speak directly to my younger self. Dear little girl, the little girl inside of me who was searching, aching, misunderstood, and trying to survive in silence. Baby girl, this is for you. This is for you. If I could give you just one piece of life-changing advice, it would be this. Don't lose you. Don't lose you. Don't stop. Get it. Get it. Don't stop. Get it. Get it. Do not lose you, baby girl. You are not your environment. You are not the pain they caused. You are not what they said. You are not your mistakes. You are a seed of strength planted in the middle of struggle. And when watered by God's love, you will rise. You can rise. You will see friends flip, family fail you, love try to break you, and your own mind try to betray you. But I promise there is purpose in the pain. I promise there's purpose in the pain. I need you to hold on to your worth even when no one else sees it. Even when you're in the trenches and it feels like nobody's coming to save you. Baby girl, God never left you. He was building you. God never left you. He was building you. You'll question why your heart is so heavy, why your load is so hard. But listen, the oil flows from pressure. That weight is making you wise. It's making you a warrior. You were chosen, not cursed. You were chosen, baby girl, not cursed. I want you to know this too. Real strength doesn't always roar. Real strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, I made it through today. Sometimes it cries. Sometimes it sits in silence. But every single time, it gets back up. Every single time, it gets back up. And that's you. That's you, baby girl. If I can hug you, I tell you this. You are loved. You are valuable. You are not crazy. You're called. You are called. You are somebody. You are somebody. You're called to lead. to change lives, to speak truth, to show others how to survive the streets and storms with grace and grit. And don't chase the world's trends, baby. Do not chase the world's trends. Set the tone. Be a trendsetter in the kingdom and for the kingdom. Stay docked with the Lord. That anchor you feel tugging at your soul, that's your strength. Try to reach the surface. Let it rise. So my advice, my love, stay rooted in Him. Keep your soul fed. Keep your head up and your heart guarded. And never, ever dim your light to make someone else feel comfortable in their darkness. Baby girl, I love you. And I just thank you for not giving up on yourself. I thank you for standing the test of time. And I know that you were tired. I know that you were tired, but I thank you for not giving up. Thank you for holding on. Thank you for holding on. Thank you for continuing to push for purpose on purpose so that you can now live a purposeful life. Thank you, baby girl. I just want to apologize for any hurt, pain, or anything that was brought upon you. My self-affliction, my bad choice of people, places, or things. But we were bound to get our mind right. We just had to do that mirror check and check the man in the mirror. And we know that it is no gain without pain. And you endured the pain and the suffering. And now you have real struggle strength. And now you are docked and anchored with the Lord. And now you are G'd up with Him. You have the confidence that you need in order to proceed and succeed on yet in this battlefield of life. And now you can bring forth living ecstasy to other souls to help them. A state of wonderment and mental clarity to let them know too that they too can come out of anything that they've been through when they have that personal relationship with the Lord. When they too decide to drop their anchor and dock, they too will gain real strength. And as now the founder of Real Struggle Strength, a movement birthed from pain but driven by purpose. I've taken every tear, every trial, and turned it into testimony. Through books, courses, events, and outreach. I'm here to remind others that the struggle is real, but so is the strength. If my message moved you, or if you know a young person, a parent, a soul in the street, or the system who needs this light, connect with me. Connect with me. And you can follow me on all streaming platforms under Aloy Unique or Real Struggle Strength. You can also check out some of my inspirational merchandise on realstrugglestrength.com. You can also check out some of my e-learning courses on the streaming course called The Great Discovery /Allure. And they are great courses to help people in their journey and their spiritual walk. You can even book me to speak. Let's partner. Let's partner for purpose. And remember, no matter where you come from, you are not stuck there. You are not your past. And the Lord has something great in store for your future. All you must do is believe. You're built to soar, to step out and rise. And I am proof of that. Y'all, this is Keep Talking. This is Real Struggle Shrimp, y'all. Drop y'all ain't getting dark with the Lord. To know that the struggle is your script. Get you down.
The one question I ask myself if I go back in time is, what can I change is go back to school. Do what you gotta do, man. Stop slacking.
Greetings, everyone. It's Latif. And today I want to speak on the advice I would give my younger self. That life-changing advice that I would give my younger self to help her propel to the next level and to understand her path in life. I often think about what I would say to my younger self, how I would approach her. What would be the disposition to help her understand that I'm here for her, and that, especially if it's a teenage version of me, is it just somebody else just, saying what I want to hear or saying what I don't want to hear to deter me or to make me feel less than who I am. So I would approach her lovingly. I would approach her in an understanding manner, and I would approach her in a manner where she feels the energy that she should definitely listen and take heed to the advice that I'm giving her. And that piece of advice would be to always stand 10 toes down for yourself. Don't try to validate, and do not start over explaining your actions. Don't second guess yourself. And when it's time to use those 10 toes to walk away with no regrets. Walk away knowing that you were your authentic self. Walk away knowing that you had the best of intentions. And walk away with knowing that everyone won't understand you. And everyone some won't even try to understand you. I would let her know that you will get to know God. You're going to get to know God totally on your own, in your own way. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't worry about if others feel that you are not acknowledging God in the way that they would, or the way that they think you should. I would really let her know that your relationship with God is your relationship with God, and to start building that relationship right here, right now. Don't wait until you make a ton of mistakes. Don't call on God only when you need him, and don't thank him, and just keep going on with your life. Keep God by your side. Keep God within you at all times. And it's you and it's no one else. It doesn't matter if other people call God the same name that you call him. It doesn't matter if people think that the God that you worship is not worthy of being worshiped. Your relationship with God is your relationship. You're going to travel your own path, and you're going to come to that understanding. I will let her know that that is where she will propel when she builds that relationship. So the sooner to better. Get to know him for who he is on your own terms. Okay? Life really is a journey. And yes, those that are close to you are a part of that journey. But every single person is on their very own path. Do not get too wrapped up with the people around you, no matter who it is. I meant down to your children. Yes, you're going to have children, Latif. You're going to have children. But down to your children. They're a beautiful sight on your path. They're a part of it to an extent. But you're on your path, they're on their path. And you all your worlds just coincide. But you're still on your own path. Now, Latif, I'm not here to just tell you what you should and shouldn't do, or to try to help you to avoid mistakes, because you also did some great things. Yes, even at this age. So I'm going to say that I noticed that you're a very grateful young lady, and you need to stay grateful. That's the key to a lot of success, a lot of love, just a lot of well-being. Also, I noticed that you're a very genuine person. Stay genuine. Stay genuine. No matter what, stay genuine. It doesn't matter if it's being reciprocated or not. Stay genuine. It's going to take you very far. You need to also remember as long as you feel that you're sincere and genuine, it's okay to turn regret into a life-changing lesson. You've done some things that you're feeling regretful. And honey, I want to tell you that those things aren't even half as bad as they could have been. They're not half as bad as they could have been. So don't regret it. Look at it as a lesson, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Keep being the person that you are. But take those pieces of advice that I gave you, especially with getting to know God on your own. That is the key. That is the key to a lot of problems that won't even have to be problems. Okay? Keep being a forgiving and merciful young lady, but also have firm standards. You're so determined to be a forgiving person and to have mercy on others that sometimes you forget to be forgiving towards yourself. You forget to grant yourself mercy. And I see that people either walk over you, or they intend to walk over you, or take advantage of you because they know that you're a forgiving person. They know that they can say whatever behind your back and let it get back to you, and you're just going to forgive it, or treat you in certain manners, and they know that you're just going to forgive it. No, honey. You got to have some firm standards in this world. You're going to have to really set some standards, and you're going to have to obey those standards yourself. And once you obey your standards, you will expect nothing else from anyone else but to follow your standards, because you're going to follow their standards. That's the person that you are. You're going to be respectful. But that doesn't mean that others don't have to respect you. It's a two-way street. Always remember that. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And I think you know what I mean when I say that. Sometimes you have this thing where you say what's nice, or you say what you know someone wants to hear, or you say what's going to avoid someone's feelings getting hurt. But if you really think back, has it always been like that for you? No, you've had your feelings hurt plenty of times. Plenty of times. By some that you've avoided hurting their feelings, but they had no problem hurting your feelings. So say what you mean and mean what you say, as long as it's within the best intentions and your deliverance is not what you say, it's how you say it. Then say what you mean and mean what you say. Because as long as it's genuine and it's the best intentions, everything's going to turn out just fine. Stay fair in all situations. Stay fair. If it's a situation you're involved in or a situation you're not involved in, someone's coming to you for advice, an altercation, and you were asked your side, stay fair. Stay fair. Everyone wants to be treated fair. Everyone. No matter what situation or where we are in life, we want fair treatment. We all do. So you can't control others, but you can stay fair, because people will always remember that. Even if someone feels like you pointed them out as being wrong in a situation, they're going to come back to you and realize, you know what? At least you were fair. That's one thing about Latif. She's a fair person. She's not going to do anything to backstab someone. She's not going to promote someone else, plotting against someone else. You're a fair young lady. Stay fair. Stay fair. Vital advice. Vital advice. That's going to really, really, really help you. Remember, people will say a lot of things, good, bad, and in between. Some knowing what they're talking about, some not knowing what they're talking about. Not your problem, okay? People are going to say a lot of things to you and about you. Only, and I mean only, take in what's true, and that will help you and help you continue to grow. Everything else, get it out of your head immediately. Do not play back those situations. If you have to not think about that person, I don't care if it's your mother or your father or your child, because your children will grow up. They're going to say some things too. They're going to grow up. Do not hold that in your head. Don't harbor it. Don't. It's not good for you on the mental level, spiritual level, physical level. It shows. Once you start letting the things that people say, which is simply a lot of times their opinion about you, and if you know it's not true, but it's their opinion, yes, you can respect the opinion, but do not hold on to it. Don't sit there and dwell on it. Don't sit there and play it back. Don't sit there and wonder, well, am I really like that? If you know genuinely you're not that person, do not hold on to it. Do not. You can respect what they're saying, especially if it's a situation. Respect what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying. But when you walk away from that conversation and you get in your car to drive home, you're not in the car thinking about what was said about you. You're in the car, either if it's true, you're working on how can you change that? How can you be the best version of yourself? Or if it's totally untrue, you need to, one, evaluate that person. How important are they to you? And two, you need to change the thought to what it actually is, what the actual truth about you. I know some of this advice may seem maybe unneeded to you, but I can tell you that that advice will definitely get you far in life. It'll get you further than where you are. Okay? It will help people to understand that you are worthy of respect. It will help people that don't have the best intentions for you understand that they really don't matter to you. Yeah, they matter. They matter to God. They matter because they're here. They're here probably for a beautiful reason, but maybe they're not understanding that reason. Maybe it hasn't come into fruition yet. Maybe they don't even know yet, but that's not your problem. You wish them the best and you keep going. Okay? You know you're a good person. That doesn't mean everyone in the world has to know that you're a good person. It doesn't mean that everyone in the world is going to accept that you're a good person. It doesn't mean that everyone in the world really even gives a damn if you're a good person. If they're who they are, then that they have to be who they are. They have to be who they are. Okay? So, as far as advice, I would say what sums it up. Girl, stand 10 toes down. Stand 10 toes down. Don't wear your heart on your sleeve. Not a good place. Your heart doesn't belong on your sleeve. Okay? Care for yourself as much as you care for humanity. You put that energy out there and you let those that are open to receive it embrace it. The ones that don't, doesn't matter. They brush their own teeth and wipe their own behind at the end of the day. They don't matter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Okay? So if you can just toughen up in those areas, I promise that you're going to be good. And that's my advice for young Latif. I am Latif. I'm the owner of Anaj Health and Beauty, the health and beauty brand that wants you to stay inside out beautiful. Living your purpose. And until next time.
How you doing? My name is Ty. I own Essential Blends Hair Studio located in Camden, New Jersey, at 118 North 3rd Street, downtown. My viewpoint on what I would say to my younger self today at this present time, I will go back and tell myself, you got it. Just keep doing what you're doing and strive to everything that you want to strive to.
And there you have it, another Mic Drop Monday. I want to give a huge round of applause to all of our featured speakers, Latif, Cameron, Allure, and Jennifer, for actually making us understand that now is the time to start making these choices, because none of us have a time machine and we can't go back and actually speak to our younger selves. But if we keep our mindset right, if we keep our mindset correct right now, we won't have to worry about that. We won't have to worry about that at all. With that being said, thank you for joining us once again at Mic Drop Monday. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you like and share the video, all the regular YouTube stuff. And as you know, the reason why we all do this, love you guys.
Come on. Gotcha. What?